Okay, everybody, now I'm going to read Chapter 8 of Hocus Pocus Hotel, The Prisoners of the 13th Floor. Okay, alright, so, how does a human get into a locked room? Charlie asked himself. With a key. A light went on in Charlie's brain. Key! He needed to ask Cosette about her ring of keys, and why they didn't work when he tried unlocking the door to help Tyler. Charlie imagined Tyler lying in a hospital room. The last time he'd seen Tyler, the other boy was trying to lift the Hades statue. And he did, sort of. It was heavy, but not impossible to lift, if you had help. Brack, said Charlie, how did those statues get here in the first place? I mean, they're heavy. Brack paused, both hands gripping the top of his cane. Well, I'm sure Indriago had them shipped here from Spain. Charlie shook his head. No, I mean here, this floor. Those statues are heavy. Most of the heavy objects, like furniture for the guests' rooms, were hauled up on the freight elevator at the rear of the hotel, Brack explained. Charlie knew that the hotel's elevators didn't stop at the 13th floor. But he wasn't so sure about the freight elevators. He hadn't seen them or used them before. That reminded him of the blueprints he'd found while looking for the clues. They showed every part of the hotel. Charlie slipped his backpack off his shoulder and dug inside it. Recognize these? He said proudly to Brack, pulling out the big roll of paper. My blueprints! The old man exclaimed. I found them in the magician's dressing room backstage, said Charlie. He had discovered them the day before while searching for clues to Brack's disappearance. Charlie pulled out the huge sheet that showed the 3D version of the entire Abracadabra Hotel. Each floor of the hotel was outlined in faint white lines against a blue background. Every hall, every room could be seen. And here's the blueprints that Charlie has showing Brack. And I think they belong to Brack. He looks like such a sweet old man. All right. Here's where we are now, said Charlie, pointing to the page. And here are the freight elevators in back, said Brack, indicating a tall vertical tube at the back of the hotel. Charlie cried out, Yes, the freight elevators do stop at this floor. Without waiting for his friend, he ran down the dark halls, shooting his flashlight's beam ahead of him. After several minutes of searching, however, he ran his fingers through the rust-colored hair in frustration. Where are they? Brack slowly padded around the corner on his cane. Charlie turned to him. They're not here, Charlie said. According to the blueprint, they should be... He trained his flashlight on a white panel of sunflower wallpaper. Right here! Brack tilted his head. I hear something rumbling, he said. Charlie put his ear to the wall. The elevator? The boy scanned the flowers on the wallpaper. Maybe there was a plaster knob like the two that controlled the ramps to the 13th floor. Yes, said Charlie. He found a sunflower whose dark brown head, inside its yellow petals, was sunk at least a quarter of an inch deeper into the wall. A button. Charlie pressed the button and the flower immediately lit up. Cool, he cried. Within a minute, a panel covered in wallpaper slid soundlessly up and into the ceiling, revealing the freight elevator. And look here, said Charlie. He aimed his flashlight at a far corner of the elevator. The light picked out an orange metal trolley. Thick canvas straps lay at its wheels. That would be really useful for moving a statue, said Charlie. They entered the elevator and Charlie pushed the button for the first floor. With a rumble, the door slid shut. There was no light inside the elevator, so Charlie kept the flashlight on. He did not want to be trapped in the dark again. When the elevator finally jerked to a stop, the back wall opened up, revealing the alley behind the hotel. The loading docks, thought Charlie. The storm was gone. Overhead they could see gray clouds moving in the narrow stretch of sky between the old brick buildings. A cool breeze blew into Charlie's face. A truck delivering bread was backed up to another door alongside them. This has to be where the crook took the Aphrodite statue, said Charlie. This is how he got it downstairs. Now we just have to figure out how he got it out of that room while Tyler was locked inside. Chapter 9. Shadow Man. Charlie saw a frown of pain flash across Brack's face. I think some rest and recuperation is needed, Brack whispered to Charlie. The boy helped the limping magician back to his house on the roof. Charlie made him lie down on his sofa in the sitting room. Then he waited with his friend while 2 hours passed across the face of the grandfather clock. "Hand me that phone," said Brack. "I'm going to see what's holding up that doctor. And you have been wasting far too much time with me." He waved the boy out of the house. Go investigate." Sorry, that's my pizza. I gotta take it out of the oven. Hold on. Okay. Charlie grinned and went looking for Annie at the front desk. Annie smiled when she saw him. "2 words," said Charlie. "Surveillance camera." "You sound just like Tyler," said Annie, leading him into the security room behind. "He's better, by the way. Mrs. Yu called and said he has a slight concussion." "And why do you need to see the surveillance camera?" "I need to see the tapes from today," Charlie said. "By the way, where's Cosette?" "She said she had a family emergency." "Oh," said Charlie. "I was going to ask her about these old keys." "She still has them," said Annie. "At least, I don't see them here at the desk." "She still has them?" thought Charlie. "Weird." "Which tapes do you need to see?" asked Annie. "The ones from the loading docks." "Something's happened back there too?" said Annie. Charlie explained how he and Brack had discovered that the freight elevator stopped at the 13th floor. It took Annie a while to find the right tapes. Charlie thought he'd go crazy while she typed commands into the computer. Finally, Annie found the right files and played them back on one of the screens. She asked, "What are you looking for?" "That!" said Charlie. The computer screen showed a perfect view of the landing dock next to the freight elevator. A man dressed all in black with a black ski mask was struggling with a heavy object strapped to a trolley draped in black. "Who is that?" asked Annie. They both stared closer at the screen. Charlie frowned. "I can't tell." They watched the shadowy figure lug the shrouded statue into the back of an SUV. Then the man, they assumed it was a man, closed the loading dock doors, locked the SUV, and walked back into the hotel. "Now where's he going?" said Annie. "To get another statue?" asked Charlie. "But that's when we were all upstairs," said Annie. "Look at the time." She pointed to a digital display on the videotape. 12 o'clock. "We got the call from Cosette at 12:30. 12:30? Are you sure?" said Charlie. Annie nodded. "I looked at the clock over the front counter when the call came. Then I told a guest who was checking in that I had an emergency and would be right back." Charlie was confused. If Ty was attacked right before she called, say 12:29, that means the statue was stolen 15 minutes before that. "But that's impossible. All 12 statues were in the room before Ty pushed us out and locked the door. I saw it. At least, I thought I did. I counted 12 statues. 12 white figures in the darkness." "Uh-oh. I wish we could see who that guy was under all those black clothes," said Annie, staring at the screen again while she replayed the theft. "He was smart to cover up the statue too," she added. "That way, no one could tell what in the world he was moving." They stared at the frozen image on the screen, the white statue hidden under the black cloth. "That's not a cloth," Charlie realized. "It's a cape." "What's up, you two?" Cosette walked in the room. "Cozy. I thought you were with your family," said Annie. Cosette dismissed it with a wave. "Oh, it was a big deal about nothing. It's fine." "Do you remember what time you called us about Ty?" said Annie. Cosette pulled out her phone and checked. "It was 12:30. Why?" "That's what I told Charlie." Cosette's expression changed. Now that things are a little quieter," she said, "do you think that we could go get David Dragonstone's autograph?" "Oh, Cosette." "You could take a picture of me next to him," said Cosette. She giggled. "Oh, that reminds me," said Annie. "I have to send out his white suit to get cleaned before tonight's magic show." "White?" thought Charlie. "White and black. Black and white. A black covering over the white statue. Is that how it was done? 12 statues. But not really. And there was Theophilus standing in the hall next to Dragonstone after Ty was attacked, and he would not meet Charlie's gaze. Charlie knew that man would stop at nothing to get the hotel. Excuse me. Aha, thought Charlie. Now I know how he did it. It was just another magician's trick, and some magicians had assistants. All right, chapter 10 is kind of long, and so I just read 8 and 9. So next I'll read the last 2 chapters, 10 and 11, and I can't wait to see who stole the statue and all that's going on. So I'm going to eat my pizza and I will read the last two chapters in just a minute.